BMRforum.com and BMRodds.com, boys. What is going on? What is going on? Welcome back to episode number 98 of The Lobby, guys. As always, each and every week, starting off with Mr. Donnie Rightside. What's up, Donnie?
Yeah, feeling good in the freezing Northeast at this point right now, but I do see this weekend maybe we get into the 50s. That would be absolutely fantastic. And we were supposed to get a snowmageddon today and tomorrow, which thank goodness we are not going to get. So happy for that. Just needs to be warm up a little bit more. But every time we see pitchers and catchers, it does get a little bit warmer inside, I got to tell you.
Yes, it does. And if you want warm, come out to Las Vegas. Beautiful 67 degrees out here. Not a cloud in the sky. It is absolutely gorgeous. But Reload, looks like you're freezing cold over there with that hat on. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Yeah, cold and windy here. Just trying to stay in, capping the games for tonight and tomorrow.
Okay.
So nothing wrong with that. Just getting set for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then last but not least, Mr. Sam's in charge, who finally did his hair for the show. What's up, Sammy?
What's up, Bobby? I see you got a fresh look too, fresh haircut, fresh beard trim.
Yeah.
So, looking nice.
Thank you.
But like the other guy's been saying, it's been cold and windy in upstate region. We were actually supposed to get a foot of snow over the weekend. We kind of got lucky. We got a couple inches of ice, which, so we had to clean the lot of all that up on Monday. It was it was super cold and windy. So we were crazy layered up, but it was super satisfying getting all the ice on the car, throwing it up in the air and then watching it smash into 100 pieces. So that part was satisfying, but being out 7 hours in the freezing cold was not fun. But I still sold the car on Tuesday. So, nothing beats a day out of selling car at the end of the day. Always warms things up for you, making money.
Exactly right. Unfortunately, Sam, we wouldn't know about that because you didn't give us a Sammy on the Lot video on Monday. We missed out on it.
Yeah, it was freezing. I didn't want to take off my glove to do it. And but yeah, sorry.
Where's the dedication, Sam?
We did 3 straight Mondays of doing lot work, which is 7-8 hours outside.
Wow.
So I had enough of it.
All righty. Well, Donnie, the one NBA game tonight, Lakers and Hornets. What do you got?
Yeah. If I'm just looking at this, to be honest, of course we think the Lakers win this game, but I'm not laying 12.5 right after an all-star break at this point. You got to be kidding me. We don't even know if LeBron James, is going to play or is 100% to play in this. And Luka Doncic, who is one of the better players in the NBA, he's still working his way back into conditioning here. I'm going to take the 12.5. I got no choice tonight but to back a bad Hornets team, and I'll do it.
All righty. Reload, over to you. The one NBA game we got tonight. What do you got?
Yeah, same here for me. I'm going with the Hornets plus 12.5. Hornets are actually, as bad as they are, they have cashed quite a lot as double-digit dogs. 9-1-1 against the spread in their last 11 as double-digit dogs. And I do think it's an interesting spot here. As Donnie said, it's after a long layoff. It's also the front end of a back-to-back for both teams. They Lakers have to go to Portland. Charlotte has to go to Denver, I believe. And you could see some softer play, maybe some limiting minutes in this one, especially for the Lakers, since it's going to be 3 games in 4 days for them coming up. So I'm going with the Hornets plus 12.5. I'm also going to add the under 228.5. The total's gone up quite a lot, up 5.5 points. Remember, these games have been on the board longer than NBA games usually are, and they've gotten some early steam, and that total's been steamed up. I think it's going the wrong way. I think you're going to see less minutes than usual from some of the guys, and I'm going to take the under 228.5 also.
All righty, Reload. Thank you for that. And Sammy, what do you got for this one?
Yeah, not really much to add to the conversation. I'm pretty much on the same side as Donnie and Reload.
Okay, awesome. All righty, guys. Thank you. So, Donnie, let's jump over to you. We got a couple college basketball games, 4 of them, in fact, on deck tonight. What do you got for them?
College basketball, we got a ton of games on deck tonight. Boy, it's a beautiful Wednesday night at this point. So a couple things to take a look at. Arkansas tonight going up against Auburn. It's an interesting spot because if you watched Auburn play on Saturday, It's fantastic. Number 1 versus number 2. They go on the road. They take down their rival in the Iron Bowl in basketball. They're laying 16.5. They're much better than Arkansas. But for me, instead of actually playing the 16.5, I'm going to actually play Arkansas's team total to the under, which sits at 67.5 points. One game which sometimes you want to avoid. SMU looks like an easy victory over Notre Dame. 68% of the tickets coming in on SMU. That line isn't moving, which typically tells you that Notre Dame is the right side. I'm bucking that trend today. I'm going to back the public and the heady public favorite on the road in Big East play there. It should be, I guess, ACC play now here with SMU and Notre Dame. So I'm going to take the actual SMU squad to lay the points on the road and win that game. One more quick one, too. Let's see. We got a couple picked out. How about this one? Missouri is playing tonight. Look at this total versus Alabama, who, again, Alabama played on Saturday against the number 1 team. 171.5 in college basketball is crazy. I think they do have a good chance in Alabama to win this game. But, again, I'm going to go team total under for Missouri at 86.5 points. I'll take the under.
Reload college basketball tonight, buddy. What do you got?
Yeah, well, Donnie touched on the Arkansas-Auburn game. I am going to take Arkansas plus the points there, plus 16. Yeah. I do think, it's a bit of a letdown spot here for Auburn, beating Alabama. That was the biggest game of the season, I think, the way the hype was going and everything. And the other thing is Auburn is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 as double-digit favorite. Also think Arkansas has done pretty well. They started February off with 2 road wins right off the bat against Texas and Kentucky, and they just missed covering against A&M on Saturday as an 8-point loss. So I think it's a nice number here with Arkansas. I'm going to take the plus 16. I'm also going to throw in DePaul plus 12 against St. John's. This is an interesting one too here. DePaul played Marquette tough at home last month as a 13-point dog, only lost by 2. So similar spot here, big team coming in like St. John's. And St. John's is 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 as a 9.5-point favor more. They've also got UConn coming up this weekend, which will be a big rematch that I'm sure they're looking forward to. And I think DePaul is going to sneak out a cover here.
All righty, Reload. Thank you for that. And last but not least, Sammy, college basketball tonight. What do you got?
Yeah, that Auburn-Alabama game was probably one of the best games of the season so far, that 1 versus 2. Alabama only made 5 3-pointers, and they still scored over 80 points. So like Donnie said, that 170 total, 172, I mean, they could definitely hit it. Their pace is, less than 10 seconds. It's tough to watch them and bet an under. Some games it's the normal flow of the games. You're thinking, all right, 3.5 points a minute. All right, if they take 23 seconds on the shot clock, all right, that's 2 possessions, 3 possessions a minute. Gamblers are always thinking every minute, every 4 minutes, every 5 minutes, every commercial break, just justifying the whole. But Alabama certainly has pace. I'm going to take them tonight. You could argue that they could have won that game against Auburn on Saturday. I do like them to win against Missouri, which should be a fun game. I'm with Reload. I do like DePaul to cover against St. John's. And then a last game for me is I like Vanderbilt plus 5 against Kentucky.
All righty, Sammy. Thank you for those. Reload, let's jump over to you for a second. I know you touched on it previously to me. You want to talk a little WSOP main event? Looking it up, I see the big controversy. Phil Hellmuth is saying he's not going to be playing because it's too grueling. I mean, 2 hours a day of poker is too grueling. Well, what's going on here?
Yeah, so Phil Hellmuth was kind of a shocking video from him out of the blue. So just to give some background here, the World Series of Poker, there's always a lot of buzz every year when the schedule comes out. And the schedule of all the events came out and the structures and things like that. And they've added more events than ever. And Phil Hellmuth took it upon himself to grab the spotlight, as he has done in the past sometimes. And this time he flat out said, I'm not entering the WSOP main event. Now, this is a guy who has won the WSOP main event several times. And he's also won more bracelets than anybody in WSOP history. I think he was still the youngest main event winner, if I remember right, too, unless somebody beat him on that later on. So he's had a lot of history with the WSOP, and I would say he's right in some ways. I do think it's maybe time to take a look at things a little. The main event's dragged on for 10 days straight. And it's 10 hours of play a day. It's usually 5 2-hour levels a day with some breaks mixed in. I think it's time to look at it a little bit. He has a point. Maybe you add a day off after 5 days, something like that. Add a day off. Maybe my thought is maybe add a day off when they get down to the final 3 tables. I've always felt being in poker tournaments, the final 3 table redraw is a big milestone. That's where the hype really starts. And it would be nice if there was a day off there. The other side of the argument is, well, you've got players they're paying a lot for overhead to be out there for the whole tournament. They want to know their fate. They don't want to sit around on a day off when they could be playing and at least knowing their fate, knowing if they're going to cash for a bigger amount or not. You'll have some shorter stacks who sit there and go, well, hey, I've only got a short stack left, and now I got to sit around on a day off before the next round of action. But I think that's the way to do it. Maybe just throw in a day off here or there. I would not mess with the levels or the structure. I think the 2-hour levels are right. Talk of like lowering them to 90 minutes. I don't think it'll have the same feel. And that's how I stand on it right now. I think it's going to be a hot topic over the next few weeks.
All righty, Reload. Thank you. Sammy, I know you're a poker player. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, my experience at the World Series of Poker was when I was 16 years old playing on Poker Stars and winning my dad a seat to the main event.
Wow.
So back in 2007, he went to the main event. And he made it to day 2, which didn't cash, but he still made it to day 2, which was cool at the time. But I've never gone and played myself. Obviously, I play poker at the casino, or I play in the monthly game. We played this past Monday, or I had a bunch of hands all night and just kept getting second best. It was a tough night. But I definitely do want to play eventually at the World Series Poker main event. But Phil basically said, it's tough for the older guys. Obviously, the younger guys, 10 hours a day. Yeah, it's tough and grueling, but let's go. That's what we're there for. We're there to win hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. On a day off, those guys are probably just going to be degenerate gambling at the poker tables anyway. Well, the older guys, they probably want that day off, time to recover. It is tough to sit in a chair for 10, 12 hours. You can change positions. You could pay for a massage or whatever, but, it's tough to sit in a chair for 10, 12 hours. So I get it on that sense. But from a young guy perspective, obviously, we want the action. We want to play.
Did your dad make it on TV at all, Sam?
No, we do have a picture of him that is framed from a photographer on the website. There was an article on him.
Oh, wow.
Like a small little blurb, little thing on them. It was cool. I think from TV time, there was a spot where someone's elbow was there and you could see his chip protector, but you couldn't see him.
Okay.
I forget all the stories. I think he played with David Williams' mom, who David Williams was a popular professional at that time 20 years ago. And his mom was playing. I forget all the stories, but it was just cool the fact that he was able to play there and he got there for free. It was a $12,000 package, $10,000 seat, then $1,000 for airline and $1,000 for the hotel. I still have a backpack that says Poker Stars that I use when I go on vacation and stuff. The hats, the T-shirts, and all that stuff. I mean, it was cool.
Nice. Last but not least, Dottie, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, never been a big poker player. I actually like playing poker online way more than in person because I don't understand the rules as per se. I've been to many things. Even across the street when we would head down to Costa Rica, we'd always have big poker tournaments, and I'd have to look at the actual dealer, and he would actually guide me in the right direction on what bets to place, what increments. But everybody loves poker there, and bringing back Poker Stars, boy, that is just a blast from the past that everybody, I feel was always playing there, and everybody was real hot on the World Series of Poker. But Sammy's right. Younger generation, if you say, hey, it's a blackjack tournament or a craps tournament, you got to play 12 hours there, why not make it 24? I love it. Forget about the competition itself. It's just what we like to do. So I understand where the older people at this point don't want to sit in a chair because I'm getting older and it's hard to sit in chairs. But you're in that 20 to, let's just say, 35, and you're hey, you're gambling to win a lot of money. That time probably goes by. Just we just played 12 hours. Let's do it again.
Probably so. Sammy, let's jump over to you for tennis. What do you got?
Yeah, tennis has been great. Been on a good 2-week run. Right now, the women Master 1000 in Abu Dhabi. The men are in Rio for a 500 on the clay, and then they're in Doha for the men's on the hard court. But right now I went 6-2 today, and on the year 137, 116 plus 1570. So I think I'm plus 6 units from last week and plus about 15 to 18 units over the last 2 to 3 weeks. So having a great run. We got 2 major tournaments coming up in the U.S. It'll be Indian Wells in California, then 2 weeks later in Miami, Florida, and then they go to Clay Court. So that's coming up in March.
All righty, awesome, Sammy. Thank you. Lilo, let's jump over to you. Let's briefly touch on the NBA quote-unquote all-star game. You know, first off, the formatting, first to 40, the whole thing. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Did you catch any of it?
Yeah, I caught some of it, not the whole thing, but it was pretty pathetic. And as I said on the show last week, I said, well, maybe they'll come up with something even worse than the NBA Cup, and they did. They succeeded with that, and they're pretty much calling for Adam Silver to resign at this point. He's the stupid,
right.
These ideas he comes up with. We did have a lot more excitement with the 4 nations of hockey. And I was really into that, watching the big USA-Canada matchup. Even if you don't watch hockey regularly, it was huge.
Yeah, apparently there was a fight within the first 10
coming up Thursday.
9 seconds, 3 fights.
Yeah.
Fights were back. It was like
crazy.
It was like the Patrick Division playoffs of old.
Yeah,
the Patrick Division, 7-game series or something. Islanders and Rangers or something there. Just fighting it out. Or Flyers and the Devils fighting it out. It was. Really nice seeing it. I think it brought a lot of interest in hockey back. I think you'll see huge ratings for the championship on Thursday and a really electric crowd in Boston for that one. The seats are going for very high prices.
Huh. Yeah. All righty. Donnie, over to you. NBA All-Star game. You catch any of it? Any action on it?
Yeah, it stinks. I didn't watch any of that game live at all. Could care less at that point. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but something just has to change, and it could be a simple fix as, hey, players, you want to go East versus West, just play a little bit harder. People will actually watch that. Maybe not in droves anymore of what it used to be in the 80s and 90s, but the current format of because the one thing we do understand is handicappers and gamblers alike, sometimes on a Sunday night during an all-star break when there's nothing going on, we just want to bet on it. But at this point now, you don't even know what to bet on. Like even if it was so ridiculous, the East is -4.5. The total is 348 points. At least you understand the players playing, the concept of it, and you can bet into it, and maybe you can make an educated guess and come out with some money. Betting on brand new tournaments in different formats here is not even going to keep the most ardent fan involved if he wants a handicap where he doesn't even know what the hell he's actually betting on or who even wants to play hard at that point. I don't know if the fix is do away with it or do like a 4 nations tournament in basketball, Team USA versus Serbia versus, Italy versus France, whatever it might be. Anything, though, as Reload points out, has to be better than what we just saw on Sunday, to be honest. Anything could be better than that.
Sammy, did you catch any of it?
Yeah, it starts with Saturday. Chris Paul cheating in the shooting stars challenge, just throwing the ball. So you already have the lowest ratings that you're getting of all time. You're getting constant, negative feedback on social media. And what happens? Chris Paul cheats in the event and gets disqualified. The 3-point contest was awesome, like it always is, and the dunk contest was embarrassing. Now, I will say Mac McClung had some good dunks, and he deserved to win. We had 2 guys that missed for 90 seconds. They just missed. They missed 8 dunks for 90 seconds. I mean, this is what we're watching. The best dunkers, and they're missing for 90 seconds. Yeah. All right, so that was crazy. The game itself, they played a 40, and there's a spread in the game, and it's like, how am I betting on a spread? Steph Curry shooting from half court. I mean, that's entertaining. But yeah, LeBron James, has a tummy ache, so he decides not to play. Meanwhile, in NHL, they're fighting 9 seconds into the game for the pride of their country. During their all-star game. All right, so hockey is just so much better in terms of their sport or in terms of their all-star break, in just terms of their character and the pride for what they play for. NHL, it could be 5-0, it could be 10-0, but the offense is still moving forward. It's forced action. Basketball can just stall and do nothing, not play defense or anything. I cannot wait for that game tomorrow. Canadians were booing the national anthem. that the Boston crowd is going to boo the hell out of the Canadian anthem, but it's going to be awesome. Who'd have thought that keeping the politics out of the game is making it probably going to be the most watched and rated game, whereas the NBA got 4.7 million viewers.
Yep.
Well, thank you for that insight, guys. And, if you guys are poker fans, this Sunday, the 7th annual BMR Poker Championship tournament events will be coming back. Get your hands on some Bowler coins, guys. Very, very excited to see a lot of familiar faces back at the table and also a bunch of newcomers as well. So if you want to get your hands on some Bowler coins, guys, please go ahead and join, register, and we'd love to see you at the table. But you guys have a great week. Best of luck on all your action, and we will see you guys on the forum.
See ya.
All right.